If you've ever wanted to create a professional WordPress website or blog without all the headaches, well, you're going to love this, because in this tutorial, we're building and hosting a complete WordPress site from scratch using ZipWP, the AI-powered platform that makes it possible in just 60 seconds. With ZipWP, you can spin up temporary test sites to experiment with plugins and themes, describe your vision in a few simple prompts to have an AI design your entire site, and then launch it with blazing fast hosting that includes daily backups, staging, and built-in security. And whether you're starting a blog, showcasing a portfolio, or building a client project, I'm going to walk you through every step so you can go from an idea to a published site in no time. And real quick, before we get started, if you get any value out of this video, I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Helps me bring you more resources, and it keeps you up to date with all of the AI, web, and tech trends happening throughout the year. But either way, thank you so much for all your support. All right, with that being said, let's get started. Let's get started by briefly going over ZipWP's pricing and the different types of plans available. So from ZipWP's homepage, which I've linked to in the video description below, click the Get Started button in the upper right corner of the screen. From here, you'll be taken to the pricing and plans page, where you'll see that ZipWP offers several options designed to fit different needs and workflows, ranging from hobbyists, just like building a single site, to freelancers or businesses managing multiple projects. Each plan comes with its own set of features and allowances for things like AI site generations, storage, and staging site capacity. And for this tutorial, I'll be using the Starter Cloud plan. This plan is great for users who need to quickly launch a professional live website without extra complexity. It includes hosting for one live site, storage space, AI site generations, and access to premium designs. Everything you need to go from an idea to a fully live site in no time. Now, it's also important to understand the difference between cloud and platform plans in ZipWP. The cloud plans are essentially like web hosting packages. They allow you to launch and host a live, fully functional website that the public can access. They include server space, bandwidth, and all the infrastructure needed to keep your site online. On the other hand, platform plans, which you can view by flipping this switch towards the top of the page, are for building staging sites only. These are temporary, non-public versions of a site you can use for design, testing, or client previews before going live. And choosing between cloud and platform really comes down to your goals. If you want your site live for the world to see, you'll want a cloud plan. If you're just building and testing sites without needing them online permanently, then a platform plan may be all you need. However, once you've selected your plan and gone through the checkout and paid for it, you'll be guided through a brief onboarding process, allowing ZipWP to tailor your experience. When you first purchase a ZipWP plan, there will be some onboarding questions. These are designed to help ZipWP cater to your needs and present the best workflow for your use case and your projects. However, if you've already gone through these onboarding questions, feel free to skip ahead to the website build section of the tutorial. On the first screen, you'll be asked which best describes you, so go ahead and select the one that best fits your role. Next, you'll be prompted to share your main goal for using ZipWP. Pick the one that aligns with your purpose, so ZipWP can recommend the right tools and workflows. From here, you'll set your WordPress experience level, and then you'll choose your preferred page builder. You can go with Elementor, WordPress block builder, or select not sure if you haven't decided yet. This helps ZipWP optimize your workspace for your preferred tools. And for this example, we'll be using WordPress's block builder. So if you select Elementor, just know that some of the design steps when using Elementor will be different than what you see in this video, because I'll be using WordPress's internal block builder, just FYI. And then that's it for the onboarding. Now, if you're brand new to ZipWP, they have a little demo that you can tinker with here if you'd like, help you get familiar with the platform, but I'm basically going to show you how to build and launch a WordPress website with their AI builder. So you could skip that for now and click the Build Site with AI button. This is where we'll provide the basic details so that AI can start creating our site. At the top, you'll see the step tracker, which shows the 5 stages of the process. There's Let's Start, Describe, Contact, Images, and Design. So let's start with the first step. Here, enter the name or title of your website, and in this example, I'm going to create a website for a pizza restaurant, so I'll title this Benny's Pizza. Next, select what type of business the site is for. You can either start typing into the search field or just click in that field and scroll through the list. There are quite a few to choose from, everything from dentist to spa to local business. However, this site is for a pizza spot, so I'll choose restaurant for this example. Then to the right, choose the language your site will be in. English is set by default, but you could change it here if needed. Then if you click Advanced Options, you'll see settings for choosing a custom subdomain and site validity period, though many of these are available only to the Pro and Business plans. And remember, the staging sites only have 1 day of validity, but once you connect a domain and go live, your site will be online permanently. But for the staging site, the days they are valid depend on your ZipWP subscription. Okay, once everything looks good here, go ahead and click the next button in the bottom to move to the next step in the AI site creation process, which is describing your site. Here we'll add a description for our website. You'll want to describe your business in as much detail as possible, including things like your specialty, menu offerings, since this is a restaurant, history, and unique features. Now, to make this easier, you can click the Write Using AI button, which will generate a description based on your business type. And in this example, the AI creates a detailed write-up about Benny's Pizza, highlighting its history, menu, and atmosphere. Now, you can edit it here in the text box if needed, and I'll add that this is specifically located in downtown Kansas City. Just place your cursor in there and add your text. Then if you want to fine tune it again, there's also an Improve Using AI option available, and this will automatically rewrite the description using AI. But again, for this tutorial, we'll keep this first draft as is. And once you're happy with your description, go ahead and click Next to move on. And then step 3 is to enter your contact info. This is pretty straightforward, but please keep in mind that this is the contact info that will display on the front end of the website. So you'll want to keep it accurate, up-to-date, and professional. This includes your business email, phone number, and physical address if applicable. Now, there's also a social media option that you could access by clicking this plus icon, and here you could select from a list of popular social media networks to display on your site. Then whenever you're ready to move on, click the Next button. And step 4 is where you'll select the images that will be used throughout your site. By default, ZipWP selects what they consider most relevant, and since I'm creating a site for a pizza restaurant, I'd say they got it right with images related to handcrafted pizza. Now, these first set of images are all free stock photos. However, you do have the option to upload your own images or view all of your selected images. And speaking of that, you could browse the stock photos and scroll through them. And once you find one that you like, you'll select them one by simply clicking on them. This tells the AI what to use on your site. Now, please keep in mind that since we're using WordPress, you can easily replace these images if you end up not liking them, but I recommend choosing at least 5 or 6 images here that match the niche and overall vibe of your site. Okay, once you've selected your images, click the Next button in the bottom left corner of the screen. And that will bring us to the design portion of the process. Here, you'll be able to browse, preview, and choose from pre-made templates designed by the AI. Keep in mind that the ones marked premium are for paid plans, but this is like your personal template library and saves us so much time in the design process. Now, if you hover your mouse over one of the thumbnails, you get a mini preview of the site. It scrolls through the homepage, but it's kind of hard to see. In that case, click the option number in the lower left corner, and this will open the preview in a new tab where you'll see what it'll look like on a desktop. You'll be able to preview it on mobile in just a bit, but this gives you a better idea of how the site is structured. I also want to point out that you'll have more control over the color, fonts, and style of this template in the next step, but choosing the overall design here is key in setting a strong foundation for your site. And I like this one, so I'll stick with it. Okay, once you find a design template that you're happy with, hover your mouse over it again and click on the thumbnail. And this will take you to the Preview Builder interface. Now, this isn't WordPress yet. This is us still working with the AI to set the design foundation for the site before installing WordPress. This is where you can visually customize the look and feel of your website before it's generated. On the left-hand panel, you'll find controls for uploading your site logo, selecting font pairings, and choosing a color palette. You can click Upload File here to add your logo, and you'll see a live preview update in real time. Below that, you can experiment with different font combinations to match your brand style, and the color palette section lets you instantly apply different color schemes across your site so you can see which one fits best. You'll also notice a responsive preview option in the bottom left, which allows you to see how your site will look on desktop, tablet, and mobile views. Then on the main preview, which is on the right, you can see your homepage mockup update as you make these selections. Okay, on that note, let's make some design changes to this template. As I mentioned a few moments ago, you can upload a logo. Just click here and upload your logo's image. This will replace the site title in the nav. Below that, you'll also have the ability to customize your site's typography and colors using the font pair and color palette sections. The font pair area lets you choose from a variety of preset typeface combinations that work well together. Simply click on any of the options and you'll see your site's preview update instantly so you can compare how each choice looks in real time. This makes it easy to find a style that fits your brand's personality. Below that, you'll find the color palette section. Each palette is a coordinated set of colors that will be applied across your entire site, including the buttons, background elements, etc. And clicking on the palette will immediately update the preview, giving you a full site look at how those colors work together. You can click through different options until you find the perfect match for your brand. Then within the color palette selector, you'll also see a primary color option that when you click on it, this lets you manually set the main accent color for your website, which will be applied to key elements, again, like buttons, links, and highlights. And when you click on that color box, the color picker tool will open up where you can select from a range of hues, adjust the saturation, or enter a specific hex code if you already have a specific color in mind. You can also adjust the overall style between light and dark modes, which affects the background and text contrasts across the site, as well as tweak the saturation between muted, normal, and vibrant to match the energy level you want your site and brand to convey. And as you make these changes, the live preview updates instantly so you can see exactly how your chosen primary color will look in context. And if your color isn't readable against certain backgrounds, ZipWP will even give you a warning so you can adjust it for better visibility. And speaking of that, let me adjust the style from light to dark. And when I do that, took care of the warning and gives us a different look and feel. You can even change the saturation and brightness levels, giving you even more control over the design of the site. And scrolling through the preview, I like that a lot better. The beauty of the Preview Design Builder interface is that it allows you to see changes in real time, so you can instantly visualize how your choices impact the overall look and feel of the website. And it's a huge time saver because you can fine-tune the design before the site is actually generated, ensuring that everything looks polished and on brand right from the start. Okay, once you've got the design set to your liking, click the Continue button, and you'll be taken to the Select Features screen. This is where you could choose exactly what functionality you want to include on your site before launching. You'll see options like blog, page builder, contact form, and SEO and search visibility already enabled, which gives you a solid foundation for both design flexibility and search optimization. You can also enable features like e-commerce to sell products with SureCart, appointment and bookings for scheduling, and free live chat to connect with visitors in real time. I'm not going to be selecting any of those in this tutorial, but once you've selected the features that best match your site's goals, click the Start Building button. Next, a confirmation window appears with a quick summary of everything you entered. Review the business name, the full business description, and your contact details, and if anything needs a tweak, click back. But if all looks good, click the Start Building the Website button. Next, the AI gets to work and you'll see a progress indicator where you could watch the percentage climb as it connects to AI and sets everything up. Let this run. It takes about 30 seconds or so, and I'm not going to make you sit here for 30 seconds, so let me fast forward really quick. And when it finishes, you'll see a success page with some confetti. Congratulations. Now, below that is a quick little tutorial that you could watch on how to edit your website, but I'll be walking you through that process in this video, so you could skip that for now. Then right below that, you can expand the login credentials. And this will show you the new subdomain for the site along with your WordPress login credentials. Click copy to grab all that info, and I recommend saving this in a secure location. However, you could always log in via your ZipWP dashboard, which I'll show you a little later on in the video. Next, you have two choices. You could click the See Your Website, and this will open the live preview in a new tab, and you could take a quick look around, or click Visit Dashboard, and this lets you jump straight into your WordPress admin area, and you could start customizing your pages, menus, and settings. And that's what we're gonna do. So let's head over to WordPress, and ZipWP drops you into the WordPress dashboard with a guided checklist called their Finish Setup section. Think of this as your launch runway. It walks you through the last essentials before going live. At the top, you'll see Connect a Domain with buttons for connecting a domain, obviously, and we'll cover connecting a domain in a moment, but this is where you'll point your site to your own URL. Below that are the setup basics that ZipWP has conveniently separated into various sections. You'll see a checklist of sorts where you can manually go through them one by one, ensuring you're setting yourself and your site up for success. In the upper right corner, you'll see a timer counting down until the staging site expires with a pop-up to make the site permanent. Remember, you can only make staging sites permanent with a pro or business plan, so it's recommended to upgrade if you need your staging site validity to be longer than 1 day. Okay, back at the setup basics. Clicking each section will open a drop-down checklist aimed to help you properly set up your WordPress site. Then each one has a few features. If you click the Learn More link, this will give you the steps to complete that specific task. This one in particular is updating the site title and tagline, two very important parts of a WordPress website. Another really cool thing about ZipWP's Finish Setup checklist is that if you click the Setup button, it'll take you directly to that part of the WordPress backend and will even highlight where you need to go in order to make the edit. As you can see here, it takes us to the WordPress settings and even highlights the site title and tagline sections, directing you towards the exact place where you need to make the changes. That's pretty cool. This is great for backend configurations like the site title and tagline, and I highly recommend going through each one of these steps if you're brand new to WordPress and you want to start your site off on the right foot. Another thing I want to show you is if we go back to the Finish Setup checklist and click on the contact form, ZipWP also provides some video tutorials on how to set things like this up. This is super helpful because we won't be going through the specifics of the contact form setup in this video, so the fact that they provide their own video walkthrough here in the checklist is a huge benefit. ZipWP also includes a built-in AI assistant to help you write copy, brainstorm ideas, and grab quick code while you work. To open it, click that sparkle icon in the top toolbar, and then a panel slides open on the right, and you can keep building on the left and chat with the assistant on the right. At the top of the panel, you'll see your usage credits, and then at the bottom, there's a message box where you could type prompts to get ideas, you can get help with content creation, etc. This too is a really cool feature built into your ZipWP sites. Finally, you can log into your ZipWP dashboard anytime by clicking the login button in the admin toolbar at the top of the screen. And we'll visit the ZipWP account dashboard a little later on in the video, but this is a great way to stay connected and easily jump between platforms while working on projects. Okay, now that you know your way around, let's move on and walk you through some ways to start editing your new site. Now that the site is up and running, let's look at how easy it is to edit it with the WordPress block builder. Now, if you choose the block builder during setup, you'll be working in a clean visual editor where every part of your page, that includes headings, images, buttons, galleries, and columns, is a block that you can add, rearrange, and style right on the canvas. It's fast, intuitive, and you don't need to touch a single line of code. And let me show you how easy it is to use. So first, let's take a look at what we're working with and visit the front end of the site by hovering your mouse over the site title in the upper left corner of the dashboard and click on Visit Site. This will take us to the home page, and again, I honestly can't get over how good ZipWP translates our inputs into a finished layout with the help of AI. The hero section, images, primary color, and the front pair that we picked are applied across the site, and the spacing feels intentional. You can scroll through and see the real sections already in place, like the about blurb, the featured services, we got a menu, testimonials, and some reservation call to actions. Even the footer is styled to match with consistent typography and accent colors that carry through the entire page. So take a minute to click through a couple pages so you could see how the design system holds together. Open the About or Menu page, and you'll see that the same styles and components are reused. So everything feels cohesive. And if something needs a tweak, no problem. Every piece of text, image, even the buttons are editable in the builder. And you can swap content, you can tighten the copy or adjust sections in just a few clicks. And this gives you a professional starting point that is already aligned with your brand, so your time goes into refining, not rebuilding. I could go on and on about this layout, but I'm just really impressed with how polished it looks right out of the gate. ZipWP has a really cool product that cuts down on a ton of time when building and developing WordPress sites. I wish this was around 10 years ago. Okay, next, let's quickly go over how to use the WordPress block editor to make some changes to the site's content. Please keep in mind that we won't be editing the full site in this video. However, we will make a few quick edits so you can see exactly how it works in practice. So anytime you want to edit a page, one quick way to do that is from the admin toolbar at the top of the screen, click on where it says Edit Page. This opens the block editor for that specific page, and every piece of content here is a block that you could select, edit, and even move around. For example, click directly on this headline and start typing to replace the text. You can use that smaller toolbar that pops up to change alignment, add a link, etc. Same thing goes for the paragraph text. Simply place your cursor in the block and start typing, and you can see your edits change in real time. Additionally, whatever block you have selected, you'll see its settings panel on the right, giving you even more control over things like the alignment, style, tag, etc. There's also a block toolbar on the left-hand side of the screen, and this is your fastest way to add new content blocks, things like headings, images, columns, info box, and more. For example, I'll use it to add an info box beneath the hero text. Just hover over that left toolbar and click the info box, and then drag it to the canvas on the right and drop it anywhere you see that green plus icon. And it will appear instantly within the layout. And from here, I could type over the placeholder title and paragraph. I could change the text, use the mini toolbar above the block to format and add links, and fine-tune details in the block right here in the editor. Then if you want to remove the block within the toolbar, just click that three-dot icon, and this opens an additional menu, and then just click delete, and that removes the block, and you can continue editing as you see fit. And then scrolling down on the page, even the images are customizable. Simply click on it to access the editing toolbar in the settings panel on the right, and you can click either one of the replace buttons to swap out the image. Additionally, all the text you see here is customizable as well. Just like the heading, simply place your cursor in a block of text and start typing. Everything edits right here on the page. It feels like working in a document. You can press enter to create a new paragraph and so on. You could also use the little floating toolbar for bold, italics, links, alignment, and even creating lists. You can even paste text from Google Docs or Word, and the editor keeps the basic formatting. Then once you're done making your edits here within the WordPress blocks, I always recommend previewing your work before publishing. And to access the preview environment, click that little laptop in the upper right-hand section of the screen, and there will be a drop-down menu where you could select Preview in a new tab, and this will open a separate browser tab of the preview environment, and will let you see what your changes look like before publishing. And so far so good. Again, I only made a few edits to the homepage, but if you're brand new to WordPress, hopefully you're starting to see the benefits of working with their blocks. It's a game changer and has sped up my design time immensely. Then back at the editor, in order to make these changes live, you'll want to click the Save button in the upper right corner. This pushes the changes to the front end and makes them live for your visitors or clients to see. Next, anytime you want to exit the builder and go back to your WordPress dashboard, just click the WordPress icon located in the upper left corner of the screen. And depending on the type of content you're working on, it'll take you to that particular section of the WordPress backend. For example, we were working on the home page, which is technically a page, so it takes us to our Pages menu in WordPress. Here you can manage, monitor, and edit the various pages of your site. Simply hover your mouse over the page title that you want to access, and you can click Edit, and this will bring you to the editor where you can access the blocks of content and make your changes to that page. Just like the home page, each page is designed the same way in that you simply hover your mouse over a block of content, click on it, and you can make your edits here in the builder or access the settings panel. Again, for the sake of time, we're not going to edit every page of the site, but hopefully you get the idea. The same goes for the blog posts. If we head back to the WordPress dashboard and this time access the blog posts by hovering your mouse over posts and clicking on all posts in the WordPress sidebar, this brings you to your blog posts management menu, and it looks like ZipWP auto-generated 3 blog posts for us when the AI designed and built the site. Now, you'll more than likely want to delete these and create new blog posts, but taking a closer look at the back end of a post, you'll see that the editor is very similar to the pages. The block toolbars on the left, content blocks and preview in the center, and the settings panel on the right. Everything you need in order to create, edit, and post great blog post content on your website. Again, for the sake of time, I won't go into detail on blog post content creation in this video, but blogs are great ways to extend your reach, become an authority in your niche, and boost your rankings in the search engines. And like I said, we won't be going into detail on every aspect of setting this site up. That's why I highly recommend using the ZipWP setup wizard. Just click Finish Setup in the sidebar, and then go through each item on the checklist. And by the end, your site will be on a solid foundation and ready to grow, styled consistently, optimized for search and speed, and easy for you to edit, update, and launch with confidence. And speaking of that, let's move on and connect this site to a domain and officially launch it. In this next section, we're going to replace the temporary ZipWP subdomain with your real professional domain. And just a heads up, I'll be using a top-level domain that I purchased from GoDaddy. So if you're using a different domain registrar like Namecheap or Google, then the steps may be a little different. However, if you ever have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to ZipWP's support or just leave a comment below the video. I'd be more than happy to help you out in any way that I can. Okay, right now our site is running on a free ZipWP subdomain. So let's connect a real top-level domain from GoDaddy so it's ready for prime time. All right, so from the setup wizard within the domain section, click the Connect Domain button, and this opens the ZipWP dashboard on the Staging Sites view. And if this is your first time here, let me give you a quick tour. On the left sidebar, you've got some quick shortcuts. Dashboard will take you to an overview of your ZipWP account. Staging Sites is for anything you're still working on. It's where all your staging sites will be listed. And then under Create, you'll see the complete site, blank site, blueprints, and projects. And that'll help you spin up new builds or reuse templates. Then in the Cloud section, Live Sites lists anything that you've launched, which is what we're about to do. And Domains is where you can manage domain connections. Then at the bottom, you could also check your planned usage. Then moving to the center, we are in the staging section. So we see our Benny's Pizza staging site. Then towards the right, you'll notice the Go Live button and the Actions menu. Quick note before we proceed, inside the Actions menu, there is a Move to Host option. ZipWP provides a clear step-by-step video for that full migration path. So if you want to migrate this site to another host, you can use this plugin and watch this video. It'll walk you through the process step by step. Now, we're not going to use it in this tutorial, but it's perfect if you're moving to a brand new host. Okay, let's actually connect this site to a domain. So staying in the Staging Site section, click the Go Live button in the Actions column. Next, a pop-up appears where you'll type your domain in the domain field. Just type the full domain like so, and then choose the server location closest to your audience for best performance. Now, at the moment, ZipWP only has EU servers, but they're expanding to the US soon, so keep an eye out for that. Okay, next click Continue, and ZipWP will give you the directions and walk you through pointing your domain to this site and updating the DNS records. Feel free to go through these steps if you want, but I personally like to use the name server method. So if you want to take a look at that method, click the link that says or try connection with NS record, and ZipWP will display two name servers, ns1.zipwpcloud.com and ns2.zipwpcloud.com. Now we'll update our domain at GoDaddy to use these name servers, which hands off DNS for the domain to ZipWP so everything routes correctly. And all you'll do is copy these name servers by clicking that little copy icon. Then let's head over to GoDaddy and access the DNS settings for that domain. Then open the name servers. And from here, you'll see that they're currently using the default GoDaddy name servers, but we want to switch them. So click the Change Name Servers button. Then from that pop-up, select I'll use my own name servers. And 2 new fields will display where you could paste the new ZipWP name servers like so. Then once they're entered, click the Save button. And I sped through the processing and verifying identity steps, but that usually takes a few seconds. And after that's done, you should get a notification letting you know that the request to change the name servers has been successfully submitted. Then, after a few moments, if you refresh the page, you should see the updated ZipWP name servers are now being used for this domain. Next, head back to ZipWP and click the Verify Domain button, and you'll get this notification letting you know that your domain is in the verification process, which could take anywhere from 15 minutes to 24 hours. Now, you don't need to keep this window open while it's happening. Once your domain is successfully verified and your site is live, you'll get an email notification, but at this point, you could simply click the Close button and let the process finish in the background. You'll also be able to monitor its status here in the Live Sites page of your ZipWP dashboard. The status for our upcoming live site is still being verified, but in around 15 minutes, the status was updated to live and the GoDaddy domain and SSL certificate was officially connected to the ZipWP staging site and is now launched and is a live site online. And one way to verify is to visit the site. And you could always log in to your WordPress sites here under the WP admin column. Just click that WordPress icon and you'll be instantly logged into the back end of your WordPress live site. Then if we visit the front end of this site and take a look at the URL, check that out. My top level domain has been connected to the site and we are officially live and launched. Amazing. Then there's one final tip that I want to show you when it comes to your live sites in ZipWP, and that is managing your sites within your ZipWP account. This is an essential step in keeping everything running smoothly, and the Manage Website feature gives you quick access to all your site's key settings and tools in one convenient place. So from your ZipWP dashboard, head over to the Live Sites section if you're not there already, and then within the Actions column on the right, hover your mouse over the icon with the 2 stacked server lines, and this is the Manage Website button. Click it and you'll be taken into the management view for that specific site. Here you'll see the overview panel, which provides a snapshot of your site's vital stats, like the primary domain, server region, WordPress version, and PHP version. Then on the left, you'll find quick links to important settings such as cache, domains, staging site, PHP configuration, backups, and even FTP settings. This makes it incredibly straightforward to jump to whatever area that you need without hunting through menus or logging into WordPress separately. Then finally, if you click on Dashboard in the left-hand sidebar, you'll be taken to your ZipWP home dashboard. Here, you'll get a clear overview of everything tied to your account. At the top, you can see how many sites you've created, how much disk space you're using, and the percentage of your available resources. You also have quick access to invite team members, install the WordPress plugin or Chrome extension, and open the training center if you need extra help. This is basically your central hub for launching, managing, and growing your WordPress sites with ZipWP. All right, that's going to do it for this ZipWP tutorial. You just saw how easy it is to create a WordPress website and blog from scratch using ZipWP's AI website builder. And now you have everything that you need to go from an idea to a fully launched site in just minutes without the usual setup headaches. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a like and subscribe for more WordPress tips and tutorials. And if you're ready to start building with ZipWP, just click the link in the video description below to get started today. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So that's going to do it for this video. If you found it helpful, I'd greatly appreciate it if you would like, comment, share, and subscribe to the Blog with Ben YouTube channel. Also, if you're looking to start a blog, check out these 2 videos on how to build, grow, and monetize a WordPress blog. They'll walk you through the entire process step by step. And as always, your support means a great deal to me and my family, and for that, I thank you. So with that being said, I'll see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.